So hello everyone and guys, welcome to the session. So guys, whenever you start preparing for the examination, first and the foremost thing we say to every student is please go through the previous year question papers. Now what is the objective of going through the paper of previous year question paper? The reason is simple, because from that thing you will try to get an idea what actually this exam is all about and how this exam is evolving. Because अगर आप 2025 की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हो तो सिर्फ 24 का पेपर इनफ नहीं है, 23, 22, 21 सबका पेपर इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि वहां से आपको पता चलेगा कि जब ये पैटर्न चेंज हुआ है, किस तरह से एग्जामिनेशन इवॉल्व हुआ है, वही आपको जानना है. We have already made a video for the previous year question paper of economic and social issues for 2024, 2023, 2022, and now it's a turn for 2021 examination. So guys, प्लीज वॉच द वीडियो टिल द एंड. वहां पे हमने आपको पूरा बताया है कि किस तरह के क्वेश्चंस आए हैं. वी हैव सॉल्व्ड द क्वेश्चंस. वी हैव आल्सो टोल्ड यू किस मंथ से क्वेश्चन ज्यादा आए थे, किस तरह के क्वेश्चन आए थे, सो दैट यू कैन गेट एन आइडिया दैट हाउ दिस एग्जाम हैज इवॉल्व. तो अब अगर आपने 24 देखा है तो ये आपको ब्रैकेट में बताया किस तरह से इवॉल्व हुआ था. अगर नहीं देखा तो पहले 21 देखो, फिर 22, 23 एंड 24 हियर. Okay, but before you start this video guys, an important thing for all of you, if you want to see that how EduTap is helping you in this examination journey, you can just enroll to our free mentorship course where we have provided you some free materials, जहां पे जो हम चीजें आपको हमारे ओरिजिनल कोर्स में देते हैं वही चीजें हमने आपको यहाँ पे भी प्रोवाइड की है, जो कि आप यहाँ पे जाके उनको देख सकते हो, so that you can experience what we are offering you. You will be getting an idea of detailed syllabus, you will be getting an idea of your cutoffs, that how the cutoffs have came across in this examination. You will get to know about the previous year question paper, plus along with that you will also get to know about what are the important things, how the teachers are actually explaining the concepts, how the documents are being provided to you, so that if you want to experience हम कैसे करते हैं आप उस चीज को बारे में देख सके. बाकी अगर आपको लग रहा है कि मुझे एक स्ट्रेटेजी लेनी है, so for that guys you can also get yourself enrolled to the workshop being conducted by अंचित सर, जहां पे वो आपको पूरा एक स्ट्रेटेजी बनाते हैं आरबीआई की. ठीक है, सो लेट्स प्रोसीड विद दिस थिंग गाइस, एंड द लिंक फॉर ऑल दिस थिंग्स, फ्री मेंटरशिप कोर्स, अंचित सर्स वर्कशॉप इज बीइंग गिवन इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन बिलो. सो नाउ लेट्स बिगिन विद द सॉल्व पेपर ऑफ 2021. And then guys, to get the access of the free material that we are providing to you, you can subscribe to our Telegram channel. So coming back to the thing that I was discussing with you about the 2021 examination, देखिए 3 things है जिसमें PYQs will really help you. One thing is it will help you in analyzing that how the examination pattern, how the paper is basically being conducting by RBI. ठीक है, 2022 we have discussed earlier on. So now this paper will also help you कि किस तरह आपको preparation जो है better करनी है. Then we will be discussing in today's lecture, that is the questions that were being there, from which dimension the question was being asked. ठीक है जी, कितने कितने क्वेश्चन है स्पेसिफिक डायमेंशन की, वो मैं आपको बात करूंगा. अगर मैं आपको ओवरऑल बात करूं तो देयर आर 22 मार्क्स ऑफ पेपर दैट वाज कमिंग फ्रॉम स्कीम्स. 13 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन जो है वो था आपका रिपोर्ट्स में से, एंड 11 मार्क्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आर बेसिकली फ्रॉम द ESI करंट अफेयर्स, और वी कैन से लेटेस्ट डेवलपमेंट्स दैट वर रिलेटेड टू योर सिलेबस. ठीक है जी, अब हम आपको इस क्वेश्चन में आई विल बी डिस्कसिंग ईच एंड एवरी पेन पॉइंट दैट फ्रॉम वेयर द क्वेश्चंस हैव बीन आस्क्ड. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट मी डिस्कस अबाउट द स्कीम्स क्वेश्चंस दैट वर बीइंग आस्क्ड. ठीक है जी, सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इफ इट अबाउट फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ अ स्कीम दैट हैज बीन आस्क्ड, सो गाइस देयर वाज अ पैसेज ऑन द अमृत मिशन और ऑन द जवाहरलाल नेहरू नेशनल अर्बन रूरल लाइवलीहुड मिशन. तो अर्बनाइजेशन और माइग्रेशन पे एक पैराग्राफ था. नाउ इफ आई से व्हाई दिस पैराग्राफ हैज बीन आस्क्ड, look at the one thing that needs to be analyzed in these PYQs are that syllabus, the questions that have been asked in your examinations are directly from the syllabus of RBI. And if I say these questions, the questions, majority of questions were basically being asked 4 to 5 months before your examination. Yes guys, you are getting me right. ज्यादातर क्वेश्चन आपके 5 से 6 महीने पहले ही आए हैं. If I give you an example here, ठीक है, if I give you an example here, look at the question that has been asked on Amrut mission. ठीक है, Amrut mission not Amrut 2.0, because Amrut 2.0 तो 2021 में आया है. Amrut mission पे क्वेश्चन था when the Amrut mission was extended by 2 years to 2022. So see, on December 2019 this scheme was basically being seen in news. ठीक है, तो दिसंबर में ये चीज न्यूज में थी. So from there this specific question was basically being asked for our examination. ठीक है जी, तो दिसंबर में ये चीज न्यूज में थी. ठीक है, now first say the first question that has been asked is what is the full form of state annual action plan, that is SAAP की full form क्या होती है? तो answer here is state annual action plan. And if I talk about from which dimension of the scheme the question has been asked, question आपका ask हुआ था, that is the object from the objective of that specific scheme. Coming to the next question guys, the next question is which of the following statements are not correct with respect to the अमृत मिशन. So here these four statements are being given. ठीक है जी, अब मैं आपको फिर बोल रहा हूँ, you do not have to cram these things, just have a look at this paragraphs. ठीक है, and this will really help you in analyzing that what you have to keep in mind when you are preparing for your upcoming examination. ठीक है जी, तो अगर मैं बात करूँ यहाँ पे, ठीक है जी, तो here guys the option number 4, that is preserving character of the sole heritage sitting and facilitating the heritage link. तो heritage link की बात तो नहीं होती, heritage link की बात तो हृदय स्कीम के अंदर होती है. So that's why the option number D here is incorrect. ठीक है जी, अगर मैं बात करूं ये क्वेश्चन किस डायमेंशन से आया, तो दिस वाज अगेन अ क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ दैट स्पेसिफिक स्कीम. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज गाइस द फाइनेंशियल शेयरिंग बेसिस ऑफ अमृत स्कीम. ठीक है, फाइनेंशियल शेयरिंग, दैट इज द क्वेश्चन इज बेसिकली ऑन द फंडिंग पैटर्न ऑफ अ स्कीम. तो फंडिंग पैटर्न अमृत का कितना था, दैट इज 50:50 बिटवीन सेंटर एंड state. ठीक है, but now guys the important for us is Amrut 2.0 scheme, because Amrut scheme has been revamped and Amrut 2.0 scheme has been extended till 2026. तो वो चीज अब हमारे लिए ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाती है. ठीक है जी, coming to the next question on that specific, that is Amrut scheme, the question that has been asked is which of the following scheme has basically been replaced by the Amrut scheme. Okay, so if I talk about this thing, the answer here is that is the Januram scheme, that is the question on urbanization and migration that has been asked. तो यहाँ पे majority of students said कि यहाँ पे जो question था that was basically talking about the Jawaharlal Nehru Urban Rural Livelihood Mission, which was replaced by the Amrut mission. So if I talk about this specific question guys, this specific questions could be related to restructuring or amalgamation of the स्कीम. ठीक है, बिकॉज जनूरम स्कीम जो थी वो अमेलगमेट हुई थी, रिस्ट्रक्चर हुई थी, तब वो बनी थी अमृत स्कीम. सो दैट इज व्हाई फ्रॉम दिस स्पेसिफिक थिंग ऑफ अ स्कीम द क्वेश्चन हैज बीन आस्क्ड. ठीक है, सो हियर व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग टू यू इज द क्वेश्चंस दैट आर बीइंग आस्क्ड इन योर एग्जामिनेशन, किस किस डायमेंशन से द क्वेश्चंस आर बीइंग आस्क्ड फ्रॉम दैट स्पेसिफिक scheme, so that you could easily be able to understand that what are the things that needs to be kept in mind and how the questions were being asked in this specific examination. Now guys, coming to the next question, that is by how many years the Amrut scheme has been extended, the thing that I have discussed with you. ठीक है जी, कि 2022 तक अमृत स्कीम जो थी वो एक्सटेंड हुई थी. ठीक है, that is the thing from where the question has been asked. ठीक है जी, so here it has been extended by 2 years. It is again restructuring or amalgamation of a scheme. The question has been asked from that specific thing. ठीक है जी, चलिए next question is guys on the PM Kisan scheme. ठीक है, there were 3 questions on the PM Kisan scheme. If I say from where this specific scheme has been asked, ठीक है जी, again if we look at that specific link, तो देखो your examination was on 1st of April 2021 and see on 17th of March 2021 this scheme was seen in news. तो PM Kisan scheme के ऊपर एक full fledged article जो था that has been asked in that specific thing. So as I again want to say कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग participate करो. ठीक है, because I think I want from you that whether you guys are able to understand the thing ना that we are explaining to you, that why the purpose of this thing is because this examination will really help you in making the strategy for 2023. ठीक है, this examination will really help you in making strategy for the 2023 examination also. Now coming to the PM Kisan scheme, the questions that have been asked. ठीक है जी, the question that is in December 2020, that is how much money was credited, which means the question has basically been asked from the current development of the scheme. So current development में से आपको क्वेश्चन आया था कि कितने, that is how much money or how much amount has been transferred to the beneficiary farmers by December 2020. ठीक है, just 4 to 5 months before your examination. Then the next question is guys fixed amount. देखो basic question on PM Kisan scheme has been asked. We know what is the fixed amount of pension that is being given under the PM Kisan scheme. तो कितनी होती है? It is that is rupees 6,000. And again this question if I talk about is basically from the objective of the scheme, that is objective, features, targets. So this is basically from this specific thing that the question has been asked in your examination. ठीक है जी, Then guys, there is a question on the eligibility of the PM Kisan scheme. It says that all landholders of families in the countries are eligible for PM Kisan scheme except which among the following who are not eligible. So here guys, one thing is really important. If I talk about this specific question, this question was really tough because it requires a very in-depth knowledge of PM Kisan scheme. ठीक है, अगर आप बेसिक पढ़ के जा रहे हो, if you are reading just the basic things of PM Kisan scheme, if I say like for example aim of the scheme, objective of the scheme, you are not going so much in depth of the scheme. ठीक है, so this question was tough. So this is a learning from the examination of 2021 which could really help the students for preparing the examination of 2022. ठीक है, and similarly in 2023 you guys can expect that yes, the common schemes, the flagship schemes that are being consistently seen in news, the question could be asked really from in depth of that scheme also. Okay, so if I talk about this specific answer, so here guys, all of these are eligible. Okay, so the question is basically on the eligibility criteria of that specific scheme. Okay ji, chaliye, which means these are the exceptions. Okay, chalo, next question if I talk about guys, next question is a 1 mark question. तो अभी हमने डिस्कस किए थे around 8 questions, that is 8 questions were basically 2 markers. So 16 marks were basically from the 2 markers questions that have been asked. Now when I talk about 1 marker question guys, so here you have seen in the examination of 2022 that we have seen recently, recent examination में हमने क्या दिखा, तो देखो from here if you have analyzed this paper thoroughly, you would really be able to solve those questions. You will at least, you might have an idea that these kind of questions will come. For example, we have seen 3 case studies that have been asked in this year examination. Okay, so here this year they have asked a question in form of case study, but in the examination of 2021 basically the match the following questions was asked in 2021 also. So guys, in 2023 you guys can expect a question that is के match the following भी हो सकता है और case study दोनों mix करके there could be a question in the examination of 2023 for you. Okay, so if I talk about these specific schemes, the first is basically street vendors who are getting 10,000 as working capital. Okay, street vendors getting 10,000 rupees as the form of working capital. So if I talk about this specific thing, we know this is related to your ऑप्शन नंबर दे स्वानिधि स्कीम की बात करें तो स्वानिधि के अंदर वर्किंग कैपिटल लोन दिया जाता है. ठीक है जी. देन इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द सेकंड स्पेसिफिक थिंग दैट इज सर्वेइंग एंड मैपिंग. सो सर्वेइंग के पास में मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पंचायती राज हैज लॉन्च्ड अ स्कीम फॉर सर्वेइंग पर्पस, दैट इज द स्वामित्व स्कीम. ठीक है, एंड इट इज नॉट, दैट इज अगर ईपीएफ कंट्रीब्यूशन की बात करो तो अंडर द गरीब कल्याण रोजगार योजना देयर इज नथिंग टॉकिंग अबाउट ईपीएफ, एम्प्लॉयज प्रोविडेंट फंड कंट्रीब्यूशन की बात वहां पे नहीं होती. So that's why guys your answer becomes only, that is A is matched with option number 3 and B is matched with option number 1. And third statement is not talking about the Garib Kalyan Yojana. And if I talk about these specific things, so these are 3 schemes that were being seen in news and the question is basically from the objective of that specific news. ठीक है जी, चलो next question when I talk about guys Operation Greens. So there was a question that is statement based questions. Now guys, if I talk about this specific examination 2021, when I go back there, the important thing is the statement based questions, time consuming. Second thing to understand is we were not expecting the questions to be so much in depth. ठीक है, objective questions, statement based, in depth. So that's why these kind of questions are something new that we have seen in the examination of 2021. अगर बच्चों ने if you have analyzed this paper of 2021 guys, this will really help you in 2022 because this year the students were prepared that there will be statement based questions. So if you can analyze this type of questions, so important thing to understand here is that why the question has been asked. Okay, first question comes to my mind is why the question has been asked. So here you can see on 10th of Feb 2021, okay, just 2 months before your examination, the Operation Green scheme was basically seen in news. So that is the reason the question have been asked from the Operation Green scheme. So guys, my purpose of showing you the questions from where that specific question has been asked is the reason for that is so that you can able to understand. जैसे अमरूद स्कीम हमने पढ़ा, मैंने आपको बोला दिसंबर 2019 में आया था way back, बट अमरूद स्कीम कंसिस्टेंटली पीआईबी में भी न्यूज में आती है. ठीक है, काफी टाइम अमरूद स्कीम पीआईबी में न्यूज आती है. इन बजट में अमरूद स्कीम वाज बेसिकली बीइंग टॉक्ड अबाउट. सो दैट इज द रीजन, दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग टू यू इज दैट यू शुड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट फ्रॉम वेयर द क्वेश्चंस आर बेसिकली बीइंग आस्क्ड. Okay, the second point I am discussing with you from that specific thing is what is the dimension from where the questions are being asked. Okay, so if I talk about this specific question, guys, the answer for that is option number 1 and 4, because Operation Green is now subsumed under the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana, and yes, it will be helping in promoting agri exports from India. देखो only tomato की तो बात ही नहीं हुई. Operation Green was started with an objective of promoting TOP, that is tomato, onion and potato. So second statement becomes incorrect. And mega food parks is not a part under the Operation Green schemes. वो तो मेगा फूड पार्क स्कीम ही अलग है आपकी. So that's why these second and third statement becomes incorrect, and the answer was operation number, that is option number B, 1 and 4. And if I talk about this specific question, guys, this question was still, I can say this is an easy question to attempt. If you have thoroughly prepared the scheme, you guys can attempt this specific question here. ठीक है जी, चलिए. So this was basically again a question from the objective of that specific scheme. The next question is, guys, now see, when I say to you one thing, we have analyzed this thing. Now this is really important to understand here is, most of the students might have a question in the mind कि sir whether the questions are being repeated in the examination. ठीक है जी, क्या questions हो सकता है कि PYQs repeat होते हैं. That's why the analyzation of PYQs becomes important. Now see here, there was a question of 1 marker in 2021 on One Nation One Ration Card scheme, and this year in 2022 you have a full-fledged paragraph-based question on the One Nation One Ration Card scheme, which means if you thoroughly analyze, so previous year schemes are important for your examination. So now if I say why the question on One Nation One Ration Card has been asked, ठीक है जी. Now again let's see. See, on 12th of March 2021, One Nation One Ration Card was seen in news. ठीक है, जैसे इस बार 36 states बनी हैं, they have basically joined the One Nation One Ration Card scheme. That was the time when मेरा राशन कार्ड मोबाइल ऐप was basically launched. ठीक है, and department has basically discussed about the One Nation One Ration Card scheme. ठीक है, so again you can see here the relevance of last 3 months is how much these last 3 months are important. When you are preparing for your examination, how much the relevance of last 3 months are important for your examination. So coming to the question is basically asking about which of the following statements are correct regarding the One Nation One Ration Card scheme. It enables the state in better targeting of beneficiaries. Second is elimination of bogus duplicate card holders so that it could result in welfare, enhancing welfare and reduction of leakage. It will ensure seamless interstate portability of ration cards, Aadhaar seedings, and the reforms especially empowers the migratory population, mostly laborers. So if you have basic idea of a scheme, TKG, you still can, I think you can solve this question. The important thing here is why I am saying this thing, these questions are tough, because guys, at that time, because first time the pattern was changed in the examination of 2021, and these kind of questions, lengthy questions, were time consuming and they were difficult to attempt at that point of time. Okay, so here guys, again the answer is that all these statements are correct about the One Nation One Ration Card scheme. Chaliye, now the next question is, guys, sovereign gold bond. This year also you have seen a question on sovereign gold bond. Okay, previous year again there was a question on sovereign gold bond. Now if I say the relation, if I again make a relation here, look at the thing here. Minors will not be allotted even if guardians apply on their behalf. ठीक है, देखो same चीज, similar line, the question on similar thoughts have been asked, but the only thing here is this year, that is in the examination of 2022, the questions were basically in the form of case study. In the examination of 2021, the questions were direct. So case study has been launched, but again अगर आप इन्हीं चीज को क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से देखोगे, if you analyze these questions, you will be seeing on similar line the questions have been asked this year also. Same scheme, similar line of time, the question has been asked. Minors will not be allotted. Discount of ₹50 is applicable when person is applying online. There is a risk capital loss if price of gold declines, and sovereign gold bonds can be used as collateral for borrowing loans. So these are the 4 statements. So guys, if I talk about the correct statement here, 2, 3 and 4 are correct. We know that minors will not be allotted. Doesn't mean because minors can be allotted. We know the share under sovereign gold bond, okay, if guardians are applying on behalf of them. So that's why, and if I say why the question has been asked, again if I say we discuss with you 26th of Feb, ठीक है, that's why guys I have tried to bring each and every question that कितने महीने पुराना आपको करंट अफेयर पढ़ना है, because students generally got confused कि from how many months we have to remember this thing. So this you can see here, ठीक है, that what is the relevance of current affairs when you are preparing for your examination. Okay, so now guys if I talk about the next question, so here the question is basically from the eligible beneficiaries of sovereign gold bond scheme. Then the next question is on the digital India mission, that is how many of the apps, how many of the mentioned apps are basically part of the digital India healthcare initiative. ठीक है जी. So this was the question that is basically from the current development of your syllabus. अब मैं आपको बोलूं ये क्वेश्चन आप याद कर लीजिए. No guys, one thing is important that I am telling to you is you do not have to cram these answers. You have to analyze these answers. ठीक है जी. Solve the paper. Look at the paper that what are the kind of questions that are coming in your examination. ठीक है, because current affair is there, so current developments keep on changing. Okay जी, as there was a question on AMRUT scheme in 2021, but in October 2021 we know AMRUT 2.0 was launched. So now AMRUT 2.0 is important, not AMRUT is important. ठीक है, sovereign gold bond important, asked in 2021, asked in 2022. So you can expect a question in the examination of 2023 also. Now guys, this was all about ESI government schemes. ठीक है, the questions, the 13 questions that were being asked from schemes. As I discussed, the total number of questions, total number of marks that has been asked basically from your schemes are, so 22 marks of paper was from your schemes, which means around 40% of your paper is basically catering from the schemes. ठीक है. Now what to be done when you are preparing for government schemes? First of all, you should be very thorough about syllabus. ठीक है. Understanding of syllabus is really important. As I have discussed with you, AMRUT scheme, urbanization and migration, Operation Greens, PM Kisan, Indian agriculture. So understanding of syllabus is important. Then the important thing is the schemes that are being asked in the examination are generally those schemes that are being seen in news. ठीक है, तो जनरली वही स्कीम्स आपको पेपर में पूछी जा रही हैं जो कि न्यूज में होती हैं. ठीक है. Now this tells us that is coverage. So coverage, if I say that is how much amount of coverage is required, that I will be discussing. और फिर आता है डायमेंशन जो मैंने आपके साथ यहाँ पे डिस्कस किया. that these are the important dimensions from where basically your question is being asked. ठीक है. So we have analyzed a lot on the 2021 examination. So these are the basic dimensions from where your questions have been asked, and I have told you that I have told you that from which specific dimension the question has been asked in your examination. Now guys, if I discuss about this thing, so first of all आता है आपका syllabus. So you should be really thorough about the syllabus of ESI when you are preparing here. Second thing will be the dimensions that I discussed with you. Identification, the question could be asked on these specific dimensions, that is identification of a scheme, eligible beneficiaries under the scheme, nodal ministry under a scheme, funding pattern, budget allocation, current development, association, ठीक है, या फिर restructuring. These are the basic things from where the questions are being asked in your examination. And then guys, if I talk about the coverage for the scheme section, so as we have seen, you can see that majority of questions that were being asked in your examinations are generally 6 to 9 months old before your examination. देखो Feb March, तो सभी मैंने बोला है desired coverage is for 9 months. ठीक है जी. And then the most important among them will be your last 6 months. So the schemes that are being seen in the news from the past 6 months are very important for your examination, that we have seen here also for the phase 2 examination. So now guys, this was about schemes, that is there were 13 questions of 22 marks that have been asked. Now let's move to the second component, that is report section, from where basically 13 questions were being asked. ठीक है जी. So if I talk about from reports guys, there was a question on the OECD's interim report that was being released in the month of March. ठीक है. So here you can see, if I say why the question has been asked, it is again related to our syllabus, that is to the topic of measurement of growth and international economic institutions. Now if I say why the question has been asked, you can again see it here. Just give me a second guys. अगर मैं आपसे डिस्कस करता हूं रिपोर्ट्स क्वेश्चन दैट हैज बीन आस्क्ड, नाउ सी हियर. ठीक है जी. सो यू कैन सी हियर गाइस, द क्वेश्चन वाज बेसिकली, ठीक है, इन द मंथ ऑफ March there was a report of OECD economic outlook report has been released in the month of March. So this tells us this was again a question from the report, recent report of international economic institution, from where your question has basically been asked in your examination. ठीक है जी. Now if I come back to this specific question, so there was a paragraph here. First question was basically being asking us is that this report is basically related to which among the following. So this report was, guys, basically released by OECD, that is OECD Economic Outlook report was basically being talked about in that specific paragraph. The next question is, what has been the most common measures taken by the government around the world so that it could help alleviate the property on small business, which was taken by the 77% of governments, which means it is basically talking about the key findings of that specific report. Okay, so generally we used to remember this specific data कि 77% government ने ये किया. This year the questions that I can say, these are really tough to answer, because why? In that specific examination, if I talk about 2021, so here the key recommendations, not talking about factual data, talking about some analytical data of the scheme. That is the one thing that we have seen in the examination of 2021. So if I talk about these things, guys, so here the answer is that the report was basically focusing on decrease in interest rate. Okay, OECD Economic Outlook was basically focusing on decrease in interest rate. Then the next question is basically talking about the GDP projection of India. So generally we always say GDP forecast is important. Okay, latest GDP growth rate is important. So you can see in the month of March the report was in news, and they have asked you the question of the GDP projection for India. The answer is that is option number E, 12.6%. Okay, ji. Now if I talk about the next specific question, guys, the next question is basically this: as per the report, okay, ji, growing global economic interdependence means that the socio-economic prospects of OECD countries will be ever more tightly linked to which of the following. ठीक है, अब यहाँ पे क्या है, यहाँ पे क्वेश्चंस बेसिकली रिकमेंडेशन और की फीचर्स दोनों को मिला के, दैट इज द क्वेश्चंस आर बेसिकली बीइंग टॉक्ड अबाउट both the key features as well as the targets or the recommendations of that specific scheme. The question has been asked. ठीक है, so here, guys, the question is basically, the answer is that is benefit of developing and transition economies was the thing of that thing that was being mentioned in that specific report. ठीक है जी, चलिए next question is, see, we always say top bottom things are important. So here the question was this, that which of the following country will be a major contribution in controlling population and environmental status. So here the answer is environmental stress. The answer here is that is option number A, China. So again, guys, I will be telling to you, you do not have to remember this question. ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर नहीं याद करना, आपको लेटेस्ट रिपोर्ट्स पता होनी चाहिए. OECD की लेटेस्ट रिपोर्ट, WTO की लेटेस्ट रिपोर्ट, IMF की लेटेस्ट रिपोर्ट्स. These are the reports that needs to be prepared when you are preparing for your upcoming examination. Okay, so now this was about the paragraph that was on the OECD. Then, guys, economic survey, we always expect a question on economic survey, but this year the question that was asked in the examination of 2021 was really on a tougher side, because they were not asking you simple database questions. Okay, they have made a statement based questions. Then also that is quite difficult to done, that is quite analytical in nature. If you see the question here, it says that as per economic survey, India's real GDP record 11% growth in the financial year and nominal growth of around 15.4%. Okay, due to which of the reason? So here what the examiner is asking you here is basically that what is the reason. Okay, not just asking you the mere factual data, they are also asking you the reason it, that why these steps are being taken. थोड़ा सा analytical हो जाता है. So this is the thing that has been asked this year. So here the question, the answer was that is option number A, that is continued normalization in economic activities as the rollout of COVID-19 vaccines was basically the reason that this nominal GDP growth rate and the real GDP growth rate has recorded the decline. So this is the important thing here. Okay, analytical things are basically the core here. Then if I talk about the next question on the report, okay, that is on the union budget. So now see, there were 6 questions that are 2 markers. So which means, guys, ऐसा नहीं है कि reports में सिर्फ 1 marker, 2 marker questions are there. You can see why the international reports are important. ठीक है, this year 2022 they have asked a question on World Bank's Human Capital Index, again a report of international organization related to your syllabus, human development, OECD measurement of growth. So which means, guys, quite a very interlinkage of syllabus is important. ठीक है, syllabus की interlinkage होना with the syllabus interlinkage is important. Syllabus linkage along with the months coverage is important here. So now talking about budget. Budget is again a very important document that is just released before your examination. So here this year's budget question was also not on an expected line. This was again a tough question that has been asked in the examination of 2021. The questions are, which of the following benefits are basically announced for startups? Okay, so here instead of just knowing the basic things about startups, you should be very thorough about the initiatives government has taken up for the startup. There was statement on residency limit, that is residency limit has been reduced to 182 days from 182 days to 120 days. Okay, loans जो है, loans ranging from 10 lakh to 50 lakh will be given to women for brownfield projects. It then says to incentivize the startups. What was the thing that was been done is eligibility period has been extended till 31st of March 2022. Okay, then government has announced the revision of definition of small companies. Very important thing that has taken place. Okay, because definition of MSME was changed. So this was a thing that has been asked in the question also. So here guys, the answer was, that is option number 1 and 3. So first and third statement was correct here, ठीक है, because यहाँ पे जो statement दी हुई है that was incorrect about the definition of small and medium enterprise or small and medium companies, ठीक है. So now this was the question, that is 7 questions that were being asked from reports. Now guys, the basic thing here again if I say is, ठीक है, from reports what needs to be remembered is, first of all you should be really thorough about the syllabus of your examination. That is बेसिक थिंग है. अगर आपको ये चीज एनालाइज आप कर गए, इफ यू आर एबल टू एनालाइज योर सिलेबस प्रॉपर्ली, यू विल बी एबल टू एनालाइज दैट व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट हैव टू बी फोकस्ड व्हेन यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग एनी स्पेसिफिक रिपोर्ट. ठीक है जी. सो इट्स नॉट लाइक कि आप कोई भी रिपोर्ट उठा के पढ़ लो. ठीक है, इफ इट इज रिलेटेड टू योर सिलेबस देन इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. नाउ वी हैव डन दैट थिंग फॉर यू ऑल्सो. ठीक है, व्हेन वी हैव एनालाइज्ड दिस स्पेसिफिक पेपर, सो वी हैव ऑल्सो ट्राइड टू सॉल्व यू दैट व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट नीड्स टू बी केप्ट इन माइंड. So here the summarization of all this is, when you are preparing a report, this is how your structure should be. If the report is being released by international organization and it is related to your syllabus, then it will be very important both for your phase 1 and phase 2 examination. That we can see in this paper also. OECD report was relating to our syllabus. That's why this is very important for both phase 1 and phase 2. Human capital index, the report has been released by World Bank, again international organization, related to syllabus, relevant for both phase 1 and phase 2. Then if it is a report released by national organization, it is related to syllabus, then it will also be important for both phase 1 and phase 2. ठीक है जी, again very important. Private organizations की report, if it is related to syllabus, then guys it is moderately important. For example, Oxfam report, these are kind of reports which are important, ठीक है, but moderately. आपको importance देनी है, but यहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा देनी है. And if it is a report of private organization which is not related to your syllabus, so guys that will only be relevant, that will only be important just for your phase 1 examination. So this is how the reports you could find out that what is the thing that needs to be analyzed when this paper we are talking about the report section. Then guys, coverage here is, desired coverage required is 9 months and most important coverage will be of last 6 months. Now when I talk about the questions that are being asked from latest developments that are related to your syllabus, ठीक है जी. So there was a paragraph on RBI's liquidity reform. So again this is a question from the monetary policy report that has been asked in your examination. So if I see it here, ठीक है जी, why the question has been asked. Now again guys, you guys can have a look at that is on February 6th. Okay, in the month of February, monetary policy committee report has been released. That is monetary policy review has taken a thing and RBI has adopted a liquidity management framework. So this is the thing from where basically your question from this year's examination, that is the examination of 2021, was being asked in your examination. ठीक है. So पहला क्वेश्चन उन्होंने क्या पूछा, which liquidity management initiative was basically being talked about or discussed here. So the answer was guys, that is it was talking about basically long term repo operations. So LTRO, very important thing, very big framework, very important announcement that was being made by RBI in the year of 2020-21. तो LTRO पे बहुत ज्यादा डिस्कशन हो रही थी. So that's why they have asked the questions on long term repo operations. Then they have asked the question is that the operation, that is long term repo operations, is basically going to be linked to which among the following operations. ठीक है, that is LTRO will be linked to which among the following operations. So guys, this year now if you can say this specific question, it could be a static question, ठीक है, but way back at that point of time it was a current affairs based question. ठीक है. So if I talk about this thing, LTRO guys was basically linked to weighted average call area. ठीक है, weighted average call rate. Then is what is the meaning of the italicized line? So now guys, coming back to the paragraph here, ठीक है जी, there was a line which was saying that the RBI said that these months, that is LTRO, will ensure enough liquidity to anchor the call rate at around the repo rate. ठीक है, so मतलब उसकी implication क्या है? The question was not just on a simple line. So these are time again I am saying is this is a really tough question guys, because here you have to be thorough about the static perspective of the LTRO also, that what will be its implication there. ठीक है, so if I again come back to that question, so here guys, if I talk about the specific things, so here it was basically focusing on these two things. It says the call rate will be inching above the repo rate. It would signal that liquidity deficit and the central bank will bring its tools to infuse the liquidity. ठीक है जी. Then if the call rate is below the repo rate, that means that banking system has surplus liquidity. This is the basic things that was being discussed in that specific paragraph about the LTRO. ठीक है, चलिए. Next question is, while getting rid of the 14 days fixed repo rate, RBI said that it will operate a 14-day term repo. ठीक है, 14-day term repo or reverse repo operations at a variable cost. ठीक है, so again now see, this is the important thing to remember here is when we talk about RBI notifications, monetary policy reviews. ठीक है, so this tells us that a recent development that RBI is taking. If any big development has been undertaken under the RBI, that is really important for your examination. So coming to here, it was talking about the cash reserve ratio. Okay, so this was talking about cash reserve ratio. Then guys, if I talk about the next specific question was basically a 1 mark question that has been asked. ठीक है, अब ये क्वेश्चन किस पे फोकस कर रहा था? लेटेस्ट डेवलपमेंट रिलेटेड टू योर करंट अफेयर्स. नाउ सी, एजुकेशन, सोशल सेक्टर्स एजुकेशन आर रियली इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर एग्जामिनेशन. Ministry of Education. ठीक है, so here the thing was talking about the STARS project, that is strengthening the teaching, learning and result for states. That is the STARS project that was being talked about here. ठीक है, so now guys, the thing is that is which among the following organization has basically provided money to the STARS project? The answer was that is it is an initiative of World Bank, and around $500 million was given for that specific STARS project, which means current development or latest developments that is related to the syllabus. The questions were being asked there. चलिए, next question is TRIPS. तो देखो WTO very important thing. WTO is very important for the syllabus. ठीक है, directly mentioned a World Trade Organization. So here the question was that recently the TRIPS Council of WTO had said that India and South Africa has proposed which among the following reforms in front of the TRIPS agreement of WTO. तो क्या चीज इंडिया और साउथ अफ्रीका ने प्रपोज की थी? द आंसर हियर इज गाइस, दैट इज ऑप्शन नंबर सी, बिकॉज एट दैट टाइम कोविड वाज एट इट्स पीक. सो इंडिया एंड साउथ अफ्रीका हैज प्रपोज्ड दैट देयर शुड बी अ वेवर फॉर डोमेस्टिक मार्केट रिक्वायरमेंट फॉर डेवलपिंग द कंट्री एक्सपोर्ट्स टू डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज रिगार्डिंग द COVID-19 material. So this was thing that was being highlighted at this point of time. ठीक है जी, if I say why this thing has been asked in your examination, so here guys, if you again have a look at this specific article, ठीक है, just wait for a second. So here you can see on 25th of February there was a news about that WTO said that India's proposal of IPR waiver on COVID vaccines, that was the proposal that was proposed by India and South Africa. ठीक है, देखो उसी के ऊपर ही they have framed a question. So that tells us that guys recent development or recent current affairs are really important for your examination. ठीक है, just 2 months before your examination, February में this thing was seen in news. Now if I talk about the next specific question guys, so next question that was basically being asked is that which of the following are basically an app, that is which of the following is an omnibus mobile app which is developed for farmers by providing relevant information to them. So this was basically talking about your Kisan Suvidha app. ठीक है जी, so why, if I can say why this thing was seen in news, तो again आप देख सकते हो it is November 2020. ठीक है, that we can say around 6 months before your examination or 5 months if I can say precisely before your examination, this thing was seen in news. Now here, if I say that what you can learn from this examination, ठीक है जी, that is now. So we have learned each and every component, that what are the key takeaways that needs to be taken up from this specific examination. For schemes, I have discussed with you. Your first step when you are preparing for the NABARD examination, for the RBI examination is, ठीक है जी, that is important thing here is you should be really thorough about this short thing that has been shared by you in the RBI notification. That is your ESI syllabus. You should be really thorough about this syllabus. You should be able to analyze okay, what is the thing from where this question could be asked. So first thing is understanding of the syllabus. Then if I talk about from the schemes, ठीक है जी, what are the schemes that have been asked? Dimensions I have discussed with you earlier on, that what are the dimensions from where the schemes question has been asked. In with each and every question I have tried to explain that from which dimension the question has been asked from that specific scheme. ठीक है जी. Then the important from reports is again focus on the syllabus. Then I have discussed with you a syllabus, ठीक है जी, a summarization that how you should be approaching towards the report section when you are preparing for your examination. That is, आपको वहां पे ये देखना है कि रिपोर्ट्स कितनी इंपॉर्टेंट है, कौन सी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की इंपॉर्टेंट है, what should be the thing, how much time you should devote to that specific report. And now coming to the latest developments, guys, again the relation with the syllabus is important. And if I talk about the coverage here, again guys, when I talk about the phase 2 specific things, so desired coverage is that at least 9 months तक आप अपने आप को push कीजिए. 9 months before your examination, you should push yourself. I have given you that specific thing also, that desired 9 months are important, but these last 6 months are important. And you guys can see that specific thing in the exam, in the links that I have shared with you. ठीक है, देखो सारे के सारे questions that I have shared with you, ठीक है, from where that specific question has been asked, because all these things were seen in news and majority of things were seen in news just 2 to 3 months before your examination. But that's why we always say 6 months. नवंबर वाला question भी अगर आप last 6 months को अच्छी तरह cover कर रहे हो तो that you can also cover. So guys, this was all from my side. That is about the why, how current affair is important. Because the important thing to understand is current affairs keep on changing. तो आपको ये सारे questions याद तो नहीं करने, but one thing that you all have to remember here is you have to analyze this paper really thoroughly so that you can make a very good strategy for your examination of 2023. So guys, now for ESI static, Prakash sir will be here with you. ठीक है? So hello sir, over to you sir.
Thank you very much sir. So hello guys, welcome to EduTap again. So I'll be discussing ESI static question that were asked in 2021 examination, and after that guys we will be discussing descriptive questions also, right? So as you all know that in 2021 examination descriptive component was introduced in RBI examination. So what were the questions asked that we will see, and we will also see the model solution of those questions, right? So guys, let's begin. And first, one more thing that I have been seeing that you guys are not responding, right? So are you there guys? So do let me know in the comment box that you guys are watching and you guys are taking interest, right? So you have to participate in the session. This make us motivated to take the session, to continue the session guys. So I request you kindly, you guys have to participate in the session and we will make this session more engaging, right guys? So hello Tanya, hello Hammer. So guys, let's proceed. Let's see what were the ESI static questions that were asked in 2021 examination, and that too phase 2 of RBI Grade B examination. So guys, question number first was which of the following sorry. Yeah, so question number first was which of the following are the advantages of foreign trade and investment? So your options are: it stimulates competition, second is it improves resource allocation, it facilitates international distribution of technology, it enhances environmental protection. So you have to select out of these 4 statements which of the following statement is correct, right? So guys, as you all know, these kind of questions often appear in the examination, and for these questions you do not need to apply the logic. You do not need to go too much deep into the question, otherwise you will definitely make the question wrong. Most of the aspirants might be clear about these 3 statements, that is statement number 1, 2 and 3. But guys, most of you will also get confused with respect to the 4th statement, that is it enhances environmental protection, right? But you do not need to think too much about this statement, right? Otherwise you will make wrong, right? So this is also the right statement, because these days countries are promoting those who are inviting for foreign direct investment, they are promoting environmental protection. So these days these things are very common, right? So you do not need to go too much deep into the particular statement, otherwise you may make that statement wrong. So right answer will be option number E, that is all of the above. Now let's move to the question number 2. So question number 2, again easy question. 2030 agenda for sustainable development goals, which has been agreed upon by all 193 member states, was organized by. Your options are United Nations Economic and Social Council, United Nations Security Council, United Nations Secretariat, United Nations General Assembly, or none of the above. So guys, do let me know what is the right answer for this question. Sorry guys, actually I am not well, so you have to manage little bit. So guys, you can see here that this particular question was asked from the topic sustainable development and environmental protection, right? Whenever we take session on important ESI chapters, we definitely mention this chapter, that is sustainable development and environment protection, right? So you can see that in 2021 examination question was asked from this particular topic. So the right answer is option number D, that is United Nations General Assembly. So this is the right answer for this particular question. Now let's move to the question number 3, guys. So question number 3 is, which of the following are correct regarding the objectives of the recently enacted labor codes in India? Sorry guys. So this question is basically related to current affairs, right? But here they framed a beautiful question, because labor codes were in news at that time, and they framed a static question from the current affairs, right? So here you can see statements are remunerating contract workers at the same rate as regular workers for similar work. Second is protect the interest of gig workers and migrant workers. Number 3 is promote gender equality by allowing women workers to work at night subject to obtaining their consent. And option number 4 is delegitimize strikes in India. Guys, I believe that you might have not idea about these all statements, right? But this is easily solvable question if you can eliminate the wrong option, right? So what is the wrong option? Guys, if you read the statement number 1, 2 and 3, these are very generic statement which are correct, right? But if you read the question option number 4, that is delegitimize strikes in India, so can it be a purpose for labor codes? No. So you can easily eliminate option number 4, right? And when you eliminate option number 4, so here you can see that 3 options out of 5 you have already eliminated. So what is the right answer? Option number A will be the right answer, because you know that option number statement number 1, 2 and 3 are correct. So this is how, by using elimination technique, you have to reach to the right answer, right? So you cannot rely always on your knowledge. You cannot study each and everything which can be asked in the examination. So you have to use different techniques to make the answer correct. So I hope you are getting. So guys, this is all about the ESI static question. There were 3 questions which we have just discussed in phase 2 of RBI Grade B examination, right? Now guys, let's discuss the descriptive component, the descriptive questions which were asked in the 2021 phase 2 examination. So here you can see the question number 1. So question number 1 is 15th Finance Commission horizontal and vertical transfer. So basically they have asked about the horizontal and vertical transfer because 15th Finance Commission was in news at that year only, right? So this is completely a current affairs question which have been asked. So guys, Finance Commission, budget, economic survey, these all are important documents, and since Finance Commission is established once in 5 years, so during these 5 years it will be important. So you have to have idea about the recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission. This will definitely help you in your upcoming examination also, right? So this question is completely relevant for your upcoming examination also. You will be appearing for NABARD examination or any other examination. But the recommendations of 15th Finance Commission is always important for objective as well as a descriptive component. So first of all guys, how to approach this particular question? We always say in our session that you have to read the question carefully, you have to highlight the keywords mentioned in the question, and guys, you have to break the main question into different micro questions, right? So this is how you need to approach any particular question. So guys, if you talk about 15th Finance Commission, so first of all you have to introduce what is 15th Finance Commission. So here you can give the introduction with regard to the 15th Finance Commission, right? So Finance Commission is a constitutional body that determines the method and formula for distributing the tax proceeds between the center and states and among the states as per the constitutional arrangement and present requirements. Under Article 280 of the Constitution, the President of India is required to constitute a Finance Commission at an interval of 5 years or earlier. Now, you have here given the static knowledge about the Finance Commission. Now, you are more focusing about the 15th Finance Commission, right? So, the 15th Finance Commission was constituted by the President of India in November 2017 under the chairmanship of N.K. Singh. Its recommendations will cover a period of 5 years from 2021-22 to 25-26, right? So here you can introduce your the main topic which have been asked in the question form, right? After that, guys, whatever recommendations are being asked, you have to answer that. That is the horizontal and vertical transfer. So here you can see the recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission. It is here mentioned the vertical devolution, which you need to remember. And guys, again I am saying that this is equally relevant for your upcoming examination also, because Finance Commission is established once in 5 years, right? So recommendations will be relevant throughout these years. And after discussing about the vertical devolution, you have to discuss about the horizontal devolution by the recommended by the Finance Commission, right? So here, by this way, you can complete your answer, and guys, you have to also conclude your answer. So this is the overall structure. First of all, you need to read the question carefully. You need to identify the question. You need to identify the main, I can say the word which is mentioned in the question, and after that, you have to break that particular question into different micro questions. And guys, you have to follow the introduction, body and conclusion format to express your ideas, to write the answer of any particular question. So guys, this is about the question number 1, which is related to 15th Finance Commission. And one thing you need to remember, that the intention behind this session is not only to give you the solution, rather to make you capable so that you can make strategy, you can analyze the paper and you can make strategy according to that for upcoming examination, for RBI Grade B 2023 examination, right? So this is the whole agenda of conducting these sessions. That is why we have been conducting these sessions earlier. Me and Gurkira sir have conducted a session related to phase 2 of 2022 examination paper solving. Now today we are conducting 2021 examination paper solving, right? So this is our intention, so that you can easily analyze and make the strategy for your future examination. So guys, this is related to question number 1st. Now let's move to the question number 2nd. So guys, question number 2nd is quite easy and technical also, right? How it is so? So let's see. So define various measures of poverty estimation and their demerits and merits in terms of per capita income, inflation and consumption and safety net. So this is the key point here, that guys, you have to define various measures of poverty estimation, their merits and demerits, right? So this is a general question, but that should be mentioned in terms of per capita income, inflation, consumption and safety net. So this is the key, this is the keyword here which you need to keep in your mind while answering this particular question. So guys, here again we can see in this model solution that there are 2 types of poverty estimation measure, like consumption based estimation, right? So here you can see that poverty line estimation in India is based on the consumption expenditure and not on income level. So this is related to consumption based estimation. And guys, when we talk about merits and demerits, so we have to give the merits and demerits under these headings, under these I can say that the word which is mentioned in the question. So in terms of per capita income, you have to mention the merit. In terms of inflation, you have to mention the merit. In terms of consumption, in terms of safety net, you have to mention the merits related to consumption based estimation, right? I hope you are getting how you need to decode the question. As I have said earlier, that first of all you need to read the question carefully. After that, you have to identify the keywords mentioned in the question, right? And what are the keywords here? Here is the keyword per capita income, inflation and consumption and safety net. And guys, after that, what you need to do, you need to break the main question into different micro questions. So here you can easily solve this question, because here you have mentioned the merits under different headings which are mentioned in the question itself. Now if we talk about demerits, so again guys, same pattern you have to follow for demerits also. If we talk about consumption based estimation, then here you can give demerits related to per capita income, demerits related to inflation, demerits related to consumption, demerits related to safety net. So this is how you can approach this particular answer, right? Now if we talk about second measure of poverty estimation, so that is income based estimation, right? So if we talk about income based estimation, so it takes into account the a fixed minimum income below which a people will be categorized as poor, right? So there consumption are being taken into account, and here income is being taken into account, right? Again, same structure you need to follow. If we talk about merits, so in merits you have to mention in terms of per capita income, you have to mention in terms of inflation, you have to mention in terms of consumption, you have to mention in terms of safety net, right? Now if we talk about demerits also, so here in demerits also you have to give the demerits related to income based poverty measure under these headings in terms of per capita income, inflation, consumption and safety net, right? And last but not the least, you have to conclude your answer. So this is the way how you can attempt any particular question. So guys sorry, so guys, you need to focus on how you need to approach, how you can express your ideas. You have enough knowledge. If you have read any particular subject, guys, you have enough knowledge. Now the question is how you present that knowledge in the examination. That defines whether you are going forward, whether you are being promoted to different stages or not, right? So this you need to keep in mind, that guys, you have to express your ideas in a well structured manner. Okay? Now let's move to the question number 3rd. But before that, guys, if you see here we have covered in our notes the topics related to poverty estimation. So this is a snippet from our notes. This is very well covered in the notes of EduTap. Now friends, if we talk about question number 3, that is, what are the changes, trends in globalization after a global financial crisis 2008? So this is the question. So first of all, what you need to do, you have to read the question carefully, and after that you have to identify the keyword and you have to break the question into different micro questions, right? So here the keyword is global financial crisis as well as the globalization, right? And how I can break this question into different micro questions. So first of all, guys, you can mention about the global financial crisis. Since global financial crisis is specifically mentioned in the question, so you have to elaborate in brief what is the global financial crisis. So you have to mention this. After that you can briefly mention about the causes of global financial crisis, right? So here you can see that we have given it in very brief, so that examiner get to know that he has the aspirant has the idea about the causes of global financial crisis as well, right? After that, if we talk about changes in globalization after global financial crisis, this is the question exactly. What are the changes, trends in globalization after global financial crisis? So these all are the changes which can be observed in globalization after global financial crisis. Okay, friends? So here you can read all the statement related to changes. So this is how you need to attempt any particular question, that you have to break that question and you have to address all the micro questions which have been broken by you. Right, friends? So this is about the changes in globalization, and after that you have to also give way forward, right? So way forward is nothing but a conclusion kind of thing, right? So you have to always conclude the discussion which you have done in your answer, right? So this is about the question number 3rd, guys. So here you can see that we have covered in our notes in detail about the India and the global crisis. This is just a snippet we have covered in detail in our notes. So here is the snippet from the notes of EduTap related to the global financial crisis. Now friends, if we talk about question number 4, so question number 4 is about budgetary recommendations on strategic and non-strategic disinvestments, its rationale and the impact. So guys, I have told you earlier that recommendations of Finance Commission, budget document, economic survey, these all are very important document. If we talk about economic survey and budget, so they are mostly, you can say, confined to that particular year only. But if we talk about the recommendations of the Finance Commission, so that is relevant till the period of 5 years, until the next recommendations by the next Finance Commission is announced, right? So I hope you are getting. So this question is completely current oriented. That is budgetary recommendations on strategic and non-strategic disinvestment, and you have to remember the keyword here. And what is the keyword? The keyword is rationale and impact किस चीज का इम्पैक्ट? द स्ट्रेटेजिक एंड नॉन स्ट्रेटेजिक डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट्स का, राइट फ्रेंड्स? सो हियर यू कैन सी दैट हियर यू कैन इजीली इंट्रोड्यूस about the policy of disinvestment by the government in the sector of strategic as well as non-strategic, right? After that you can easily briefly elaborate about the policy on strategic disinvestment. So here you can easily mention कि strategic sector में which sectors are being disinvested, ठीक है, यहाँ पे disinvestment हो रहा है, so that you can mention here. And after that you can mention also the non-strategic sector, ठीक है, where disinvestment process is being carried on, right? So here you can also mention, so I have attached the snippet from the PIV where you can read this, that these all are the sectors from in the non-strategic sector where disinvestment was proposed, right? And after that guys, this is about the budgetary recommendation on strategic and non-strategic disinvestment. Now the second part of the question is the rationale behind the disinvestment and the impact. So this is the main question, ठीक है? A lot of aspirants leave the question while answering till here, ठीक है? That is the budgetary recommendation on strategic and non-strategic sector. But guys, until and unless you address these component also, you will not be awarded marks, or you will be awarded very less marks for this particular question, right? Because every component has some marks allocated, right? So now let us discuss about the second component, that is rationale of disinvestment in India. So what can be the rationale? It can be to meet the budgetary needs, it can be to reduce fiscal deficit, it can be to improve public finances and overall economic efficiency. Here you can also read to raise funds for golden handshake, to encourage wider share of ownership, etc., right? So this is the rationale behind the disinvestment in India. Now the last component is related to impact of disinvestment. This is what here second component of the question asking, right? That is impact of disinvestment. So here you can also mention various impacts related to disinvestment, right guys? So here you can see the impact of disinvestment. So guys, this was about how you can easily attempt the question related to budgetary recommendation on strategic and non-strategic disinvestment, right? Now if we talk about the snippet, that we have very well covered this also in our EduTap material. So this is a snippet from our notes, you can see here. Now let's discuss the question number 5th, guys. So question number 5th is role of demography in India's economic transition. So we have to mention the role of a demography in India's economic transition, right? Sorry guys, let me drink some water. So Hamar is saying, sir, how much descriptive questions asked in ESI? So there were 6 questions, Hamar. Tan is saying this is direct from the syllabus point. Yeah, they are directly related to syllabus. If you read the syllabus, you will get to know that these questions were somehow related to the syllabus only, right? So for that purpose only, you have to have idea about the syllabus in detail. Okay? Now let's discuss about the question number 5th. So role of demography in India's economic transition. So first of all, you can easily and you can introduce your answer in a very well structured manner, that India has 62.5% of its population in the age group of 15 to 59 years, which is ever increasing and will be at the peak around 2036 when it will reach approximately 65%. These population parameters indicate an availability of a demographic dividend in India, which started in 2005-06 and will last till 2055-56. So this young demography plays a crucial role in India's economic transition. So guys, this is kind of a direct question, but again you have to identify some micro question inside this direct question also. And what can be the micro questions, that I am going to tell you. So first of all, you need to directly answer this statement, that is role of demography in India's economic transition, right? So here you can see that they can play a crucial role in better economic growth. Here is the example how they can participate in better economic growth. Then it is related to demographic dividend. It will be related to rapid industrialization. It is related to rise in workforce also. It is related to effective policy making. So these all will definitely help in India's economic transition, right? So this is the keyword in the question which you need to answer. But after that, guys, you also have to mention challenges associated with the demography. Though you can mention those challenges in brief because it has not been asked directly in the question, right? So you have to understand that you have to cover any particular answer in a holistic way. Though it is not being asked in the question, but you can easily mention in brief, some of the challenges associated with the demography. So these things will definitely hit the mind of the examiner, that yes, he has idea, that the aspirant has the idea about this topic in a holistic way, right? So these things definitely help you fetching good marks in the examination. So here are some challenges: asymmetric demography, lack of skills, low human development parameters, informal nature of economy in India. So these all are challenges which are associated with the demography. And again guys, what needs to be done? So you also have to mention, you just not need to mention the problems, you also need to mention the probable solutions which can be undertaken to resolve these challenges. So skill development can be one area, education, health, job creation. So these all are the areas where things can be improved or things can be done, right? So guys, this is about this question, that is role of demography in India's economic transition. I hope you are getting, if simple statement is asked, so how you can create further question in that particular statement, and how you can fetch good marks by answering the question in a holistic way, right? Now let's discuss about the advantages associated with the demographic dividend. So guys, this is basically the snippet from our EduTap material where we have covered this question thoroughly, right? So here you can see, this is a snippet, right? Now guys, last but not the least question, rather one of the most important question I can say, that climate change commitment of India in light of socio-economic development and health factors. Guys, again, this is a very important question from the topic sustainable development and environmental protection, right? We have seen that one objective question was also asked in 2021 from this topic, and here you can see that this descriptive question was asked from this particular topic. So that is why this topic is important, and we often say in our YouTube sessions that these topics are important. So you have to cover those topics in priority, and after that you have to cover the rest of the topics, right? So climate change commitments of India. So first of all, you need to tell that India is the world's third largest economy and fifth largest greenhouse gas emitter, accounting for about 5% of global emissions. India's emissions increased 65% between 1990 and 2005 and are projected to grow another 70% by 2022. So if you can mention data, if you can mention some scheme, some findings from the reports or surveys, so that will definitely substantiate your answer, substantiate your point, and believe me, these all things help you in fetching good marks, right? So there are two ways of attempting any question. You can easily attempt, you can just mention theoretical knowledge, whatever you have read from the from books, from newspapers. Or second thing is, you can substantiate your point with the help of examples, with the help of findings of important reports, surveys, indices, right? So these all things will definitely help you in fetching good marks. So here you can see that we have mentioned data related to that, right? So this is definitely going to make an impact in the mind of the examiner. Now guys, read the question carefully. Climate change commitment of India in the light of socio-economic development and health factors. Again, here two keywords are important, that is socio-economic development and health factors. So that you need to keep in your mind while answering this particular question. Now let's move to the first one, that is socio-economic development. So climate change commitment of India in light of socio-economic development. Now you are directly answering this particular first component of the question. So here you can see that, here you can also write that National Action Plan on Climate Change was launched by the government of India, right? Then National Solar Mission, National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. So there are a lot of examples and number of examples which you can use in your answer. So whatever you have, whatever here you can see that whatever is written here, you do not need to mug up anything, right? You have been reading these things in your current affairs. While preparing for current affairs, you have been in touch with all these things, right? So you do not need to mention any, you do not need to put any extra effort to write these things. Rather, you just need to click at the examination that how you can express your idea, right? This is what I have discussed little earlier, that you have to learn the art how you can express your ideas in the examination hall, and those who are able to express their ideas well in the examination, they can do well in the final result itself, right? So this is related to first component. And if we talk about the second component, so climate change commitment of India in the light of health factors. So again, here you can mention a lot of initiatives that have been taken by the government of India. So India is releasing $6 billion in one go for intensive afforestation, which will result in more carbon sinks. National Air Quality Index, Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, right? These all things, clean energy cess. So these all things you can mention in the answer. So this makes your answer complete, right? Otherwise, if you have simply answered this question, that is climate change commitment of India, bas, okay? If you If you had answered this component, your answer would have been incomplete, right? So you have to read the question carefully, properly, whatever is mentioned in the whatever is mentioning in the question. So you have to read that in a proper way. So this is related to in the light of socio-economic development and health factors. So this they are specifically asking from these two perspectives, right? So you have to, your answer should be confined to these two perspectives only, right, guys? So this is about this these two component. And also in the later part of your answer you can mention some challenges in climate change commitment of India. Again, that we have discussed in the last question itself, that if suppose simple question is asked, then you can present your knowledge by expressing your extra knowledge, whatever you have idea about that particular topic, and you can present that knowledge in the answer. But guys, one thing you need to remember, that here you can mention anything but in brief, right? Because it is not specifically asked, rather you are just doing to fetch some extra marks, so you have to mention these things in brief. I am mentioning here in detail so that you can get the idea what points you can you could have incorporated in your answer. So what are the challenges? That is lack of infrastructure, lack of financial intermediaries, limited understanding. So these all are the challenges associated with the climate change commitment of India, right? Now if we talk about way forward, so here you have to mention the way forward also. I hope you are getting. So guys, this is all about the 6 questions which we have just discussed and which were asked in the 2021 examination. So here you can see the snippet from EduTap's material where we have covered these things, the fodder related to this particular question in detail, right? So this is a snippet from the material of EduTap. So guys, this is about the 6 questions which were there in 2021 phase 2 examination in the descriptive component, right?
So guys, I hope that you have got an understanding of that how the examination of 2021, the questions that have been asked in this examination. You might have observed one thing, that 2021 was a dominating pillar which was dominated by government schemes. Same thing happened in 2022 also, that schemes were dominating. Then in 2023 we have witnessed questions from economic and social issues. Okay, that has been asked in the that has been the questions from that were being asked. There were some questions from static also. 2024 it's being dominated by your reports. So again, if we just sum up here, 21 schemes were dominating. 22, yes, there were some questions from ESI current affairs also, but again scheme was the dominating pillar here. 23 static questions were there, current affair questions were there, schemes were there, but then there were few questions from reports. 24, the exam is saying reports are the dominating pillar, which means if you are seeing the involvement here, it's not that there is no defined pattern of economic and social issues. This is the major important learning that you must take with you if you are targeting the 2025 examination, so that guys, you get an idea that if you are preparing for economic and social issues, all the components have to be given due respect, be it ESI current affairs, be it reports, be it your government schemes, because you never know what will be the pattern of economic and social issues this year. Now, if you want to join the courses of EduTap, how EduTap is helping you, let me just tell you the brief here. As I've told you, we are providing you the free mentorship course that I've told you in the beginning, that you can get enrolled to that also and just get an experience. But if you want to get enrolled to the courses, so just go to the website of EduTap, edutap.in, click on the courses, click on the RBI Grade B courses. And when you click on the RBI Grade B courses, guys, okay, let's just open these courses. So when you will go to the RBI Grade B courses, just give me a second. Okay. So when you go to the courses of RBI Grade B, what will you observe is, guys, that first of all, what we are offering you, the offering of EduTap, what we are offering you, obviously video lectures will be here, live classes will be there, study notes will be there, you will be getting your test series, your doubt solving sessions will be there. But one of the important things where we always say is that what are the important thing, what is the best thing we can offer you is the mentorship. That is one-on-one mentorship where you can interact with the faculties. We have been conducting sessions with you, that is some sessions like the mentorship sessions are being conducted, weekly mentor sessions are being conducted by the students. Then you can have a one-on-one call with the faculty here, so that you can experience. The objective is you can connect the mentors. Wherever you have a doubt, you can just call the mentor and they will be there for your help here. Now with regards to the courses that we're offering you here, guys, with regards to the RBI specific courses, so we are offering you the basic courses, that is, first of all, if I go here, this is the most important course if you are starting from the basic, which means you have not done quant reasoning or English, you want to prepare QRE, you want to prepare ESI static, finance static, current affairs, you want to prepare everything, you can go with this RBI Grade A B plus gold course here, where we are offering you live classes, concept notes, summary sheets, mock interviews, as well as we are helping you in preparation of interview session also. Okay, ji. Now somehow let's say you are a student who is really good in QRE. Okay, you might be preparing for some another banking examination and you are really good in QRE. You can go with this specific silver course where except QRE you will be getting everything. Your general awareness things will be covered here. Okay, ji. Your ESI static, finance static, your concept classes, concept notes will be provided you here, which means except the phase 1 part of QRE, ठीक है, and the phase 1 mock test को छोड़ के सब कुछ आपको यहाँ पे मिल जाएगा. अगर आपको सिर्फ और सिर्फ क्वेश्चन ही प्रैक्टिस करनी है तो आप हमारी आरबीआई ग्रेड ए बी टेस्ट सीरीज के साथ भी जा सकते हैं. ठीक है. अब somehow let's say you are a person who says कि मुझे तो सर क्या करना है, मुझे तो आरबीआई के साथ बैंक की तैयारी करनी है, तो this is again something a new product we have offering you, that is RBI Grade AB plus Bank Mahapack course, where again you will be getting concept classes, concept notes, chapter wise test, full length group discussion plus interview guidance that is required for the banking examination will be provided you here. Okay. Now with regards to at what price you can offer them, guys, you can just visit to the website. जो भी present offer आपको मिलेगा वहां पे जाके avail कर सकते हो. Similarly, if you are preparing for multiple examinations, now these are the combo courses we are offering you here. RBI plus ERIDI combo, RBI ERIDI plus NABARD combo, ठीक है जी. Then we have RBI plus ERIDI full phase 1 plus phase 2 full video course here, and RBI NABARD ERIDI phase 2 course here. So these are different courses we are offering you here. तो अगर आपको इनमें से किसी कोर्स को आपको लग रहा है मुझे 2 एग्जाम्स को टारगेट करना है, तो आप इसमें से भी किसी भी कोर्स को यहाँ पे आप टारगेट कर सकते हैं. ठीक है जी. So this is all about your session for the day, guys. I wish you all the best for the examination. Keep preparing hard, keep learning hard, and important thing, now you know that how the examination is involved. So make your strategy in such a way, ठीक है जी, that really suits you. और आपको पता होगा किस तरह के क्वेश्चन है, कौन सी स्कीम्स है, किस तरह पे चीजों पे फोकस किया, ताकि आप उसी पे फोकस करके अपनी इस साल की प्रिपरेशन जर्नी को स्टार्ट करो. ठीक है. चलो जी. सो विशिंग यू ऑल द बेस्ट. कीप वर्किंग हार्ड, कीप प्रिपेयरिंग हार्ड. बाय बाय.